Ahoy! This is the Artemis/Snowpeak PP20 10-meter air target pistol. Now, I made a video on this before, and the whole point of that video was I had always wanted a target pistol, but I couldn't afford it because it's what professionals use. And then this budget version came along, and I just jumped into it, not doing any further research. And the video was basically to show all the mistakes I made so that you could not make the same mistakes as I did and just be prepared. And of course, the differences being they don't have quick fill cylinders. You have to actually unscrew it and have special attachments. There's of course no moderator attachments, so it's noisy, and of course the grip is molded for right-handed people. And yeah, so I thought I'd try to take the pistol and actually make it into something I could use, because I really like the trigger and it's super accurate. So what I did is I designed and 3D printed this moderator, and it just slips over, and then the sight screw actually just screws in for now. I took the air cylinder from a Artemis/Snowpeak PP700, and it has a quick fill port, so you just put a probe in full and it's great. And then the grip, of course, is still for right-handed people. So right-handed people. So what I thought I'd do is I'd actually try replicate the Artemis Snowpeak PP750 grips, because I quite like those. Unfortunately, it ends up being quite chunky, quite wide, due to just how wide it is up here. So I might make it thinner and then keep it chunky up top. But anyway, it ends up being a relatively nice ambidextrous grip. Still, I wanted something which, an old fancy target grip. So I went out there, searched for any existing 3D printable grips, and found this one, which is super nice and curvy. And it's for the Baikal CO2 target pistol. So what I did is I took it. Fortunately, the person who made it provides the original Blender files, so I could just take the entire grip, carve out the bits I needed for this, then just mirrored it so that it's for left-handed evil folk. And yeah, it fits rather nicely. I might have to move it about 5 millimeters forward because it's just a little bit out of reach of my finger. But yeah, I now have a target pistol I can use and refill, and it's quiet. So yeah, this is now something I can use. But I have something to say about the air cylinder on the PP700, because there's a new version and it's kind of different. So I needed a donor air cylinder from somewhere. I decided to wait for Black Friday to see if there were any deals. Fortunately, there was actually one, so I ended up buying a brand new PP700SA. And yeah, it came with a little bit of air, so I shot a few shots. Accurate, everything as I expected. Shot it empty, unscrewed the air cylinder, then noticed, oh hey, this looks quite a lot different. On the old version, this is actually silver and quite a lot narrower, and it's closed at the end with a very tiny hole, whereas this version is 16 millimeters thick, and it's pass-through. There's nothing there, it goes the whole way through. The air cylinder itself, well, on the old version is completely empty, it just has the pressure gauge at the end. But this one actually now has the regulator in, so it's much more Humor-esque. So I guess this is now plenum area, and yeah, this is your regulated air, and the new one even has a nice rotatable dust cover pod. So that's kind of neat. And comparing it visually to the old one, get my trusty one. Yeah, so the old one is silver at the back of the slanted bit, and then just black and empty and no rotatable dust cover. As for the box, well, sadly the box looks exactly the same, so there's no way to tell from the outside which one you're getting. I guess you could look at serial numbers, but I don't know. Now, as for why mine is in 1,000 pieces, like I said, it came filled with air and I shot it down empty, and I tried to fill it with my hand pump. Sadly, trying to do that, the air just kept on coming out the barrel. And I had cocked the hammer already, so I wasn't being completely dumb. So I took one of my paintball cylinders and I tried to fill it up, but air still came out the barrel. So took it apart, and this is the part that you can adjust. This is the valve poppet, so this is the thing that presses up against here on the inside and stops air flowing out. So what you can do is this little bit screws in the end, and you can adjust how tightly it presses against the end. So I figured maybe it was just a little bit loose, and under the high pressure it was fine, but at a low pressure it suffered. So I screwed this in a lot. Like, it was really difficult to push the valve in. And yeah, still it's leaking at the front, so I'm not really sure what's wrong with it. I've had a quick visual inspection of the poppet and it looks smooth, it looks concentric enough, but the join of the pin and the poppet, there's a slight bit of wobble. Anyway, my problem to fix. And while we're here, if you're curious how this works, so here's air at a very high pressure. It goes through a regulator, which then fills this little empty bit over here. Now, on these guns, what you do is you have this over here, and to put a pellet in, you rotate this out of the way, you put a pellet in the barrel, you push it back, you cock a hammer, and then you pull the trigger. Now, how that works is the air that's sitting here is being held in place with this. So that sticks out the back a little bit, and when you pull the trigger, the hammer hits this and knocks it out of the way. Then air actually flows from this chamber through here and out of one of these 4 holes on the 90-degree angles. And what that does is it actually fills this block with air, which then comes out that teeny tiny hole and actually just blows the pellet forwards. So yeah, anyway, hope you thought this was mildly interesting. Stay safe, have fun. Bye.